So yesterday, toward the end of the day, I noticed that our charging system on our backhoe is no longer working, and I don't think that the alternator has any problems. I'm pretty sure, just a hunch, but I'm pretty sure that jumping it so many times because of the bad battery, we probably nuked the voltage regulator. I'm hoping that's what happened. So I spent this morning getting the alternator out of there. I just don't know how to test that in place. I know how to test alternators, but I don't know how to test whether the voltage regulator is bad on this particular alternator. So I went ahead and removed it. I'm heading into town to get that tested. And then this morning, I'm actually waiting for a call from our logger to confirm whether we can get up to the logs that we're waiting on. We got all of our logs milled. That's not true. There's still one on the mill. Need to get that guy cut up. So I'm gonna be hopefully heading up there with our logger and our driver and get a load of logs brought down here. And that'll be my day, probably, getting the alternator back on the backhoe. Hopefully we can get parts for that ASAP. It seems to be a pretty standard unit. And I think Alyssa is gonna work on planing while I'm gone. She's got a lot of planing to get caught up on, and I've just been keeping her buried in firewood. The good news is the rain stopped yesterday. The bad news is it is flipping cold this morning. It's well below freezing, so everything is frozen, which makes turning wrenches miserable. Bloody knuckles.
I looked at the forecast and there's not a single drop of moisture until after our frame is raised, which is awesome. I don't trust the forecast, that's a different story. But today, my parents are in town, and believe it or not, all four of us are doing something different. I'm here on the property solo. Jesse is in town. My dad drove all the way to Montana. He's probably getting there right about now to pick up a 10,000 watt generator. More on that later, but it is very critical to have, like yesterday. Without his help, one of us would have to go to Montana and back, which where he's going, it'd be about a 5-hour round trip, maybe more, which would keep us from working on the frame. So thanks, Dad. And my mom is at their Airbnb place, and she's been working on calling around trying to find our subfloor for the raising, getting quotes from hither and thither. She's also making cat food for Bugaboo because Bugaboo still needs to eat during all this chaos and he's out of food. So thanks for doing that, Mom, because I don't have to do it. So just by having them here, Alyssa doesn't have to do all these errands and Alyssa can work on planing. These beams are looking mighty sparkly this morning. I don't know if you can see that, but that's frost. Look at that. Brr. I just got off the phone with Blueberry. She's been really helpful, being available, letting me throw all these questions at her. She's trying to help us understand what we can and can't use for our sheathing for our second floor during the raising. I also asked her about planing, kind of letting her know my struggles to see if there's anything I could be doing differently. And in a nutshell, she said I'm on the right track. It is very important that all of these timbers be planed exactly to dimension. They're coming off the sawmill imperfectly, so me being anal trying to make it uniform is probably what I should be doing. That said, she helped me to prioritize what should be planed first. So being alone today, I think I'm gonna start on posts, and the last priority would probably be floor joists and rafters. Here's all of our posts right here. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to move these on my own. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this morning. Here's all of our floor joists. Part of the challenge I'm going to have is I can't move these puppies on my own, nor can they fit in the garage. So I get to plane along here, and then mid-plane, do a little hop over this beam and do a little hop over that beam. Blueberry said this is all par for the course. Woohoo! Jesse left me with this much fuel, and for the generator alone, that would be gobbled up in like 2 seconds. So this is for the chainsaw.
I just heard from our logger, and sounds like we're good to go on getting those logs this afternoon about 1 o'clock. So I've got a couple of hours here to keep working on this alternator problem. It turns out the local parts store could not test it, but the good news is they do have one available tomorrow. So I'm still chasing that down. I'm going to run to a local diesel shop, which should be able to test that alternator and make sure that it's working fine. Get that taken care of, and then probably head up there and start working on getting those logs cut to length. May have been wrong about the battery on the backhoe, which makes me feel like a complete idiot, but I guess the explanation makes perfect sense. So we just tested the alternator, and it turns out that the diode in there seems to be acting up. It's not open and it's not closed. It seems to be somewhere in between, which makes a lot of sense because that diode is what keeps the alternator from sucking the battery dead. So the bad news is the alternator shot, need a new one. The good news is this very well could have been the phantom battery drain that we've been chasing all this time, and I may have been completely wrong about that battery. It may have been fine, and one night the alternator diode stuck open and it sucked the battery dry, which that's what looks like just happened. And it could happen at any time. So I'm going to get a new one on the way. Hopefully we'll have it here tomorrow morning, and that'll get us up and running. I don't want to put that alternator back on there because I don't want it to nuke the battery we just put in there. So the good news is we've got a lot of other stuff to get done today, and it's not going to be an issue to not have the backhoe today, although we should have logs by evening time, but I doubt I'm going to get anything milled up by then. All right, so backhoe drama hopefully is subsiding, and then sounds like Alyssa's making a lot of progress with planing and also getting all the details for the workshop done. Seems like everything's just chaos right now, but I guess that's pretty understandable given the timing of the workshop being less than a week away. Well, I got crazy lucky. It turns out one of our part houses in town had the alternator in stock. And I have to say just one thing about that. When we bought this backhoe, I gave it a quick look over, and I wanted to make sure that we would be easily able to get parts. And it turns out, you know, definitely was a wise decision. Everything on this backhoe is real common. For those people who are thinking about buying equipment, there's definitely, like, we've already had this conversation earlier about maintenance. I think I was talking about it in terms of the sawmill when you break stuff, you know. But in terms of equipment, I feel, you know, really passionate about having something that's fairly standardized. If you want to take the time and spend money on something that's impossible to get parts for, well, plan on having a lot of downtime, because it's not I don't think it's ever a matter of whether something's going to break or not. It's going to break, just a matter of when. But getting parts shouldn't be that hard. So at worst, this was a one-day part acquisition. It turns out it's a pretty common part, so it was in stock at the local parts store. And there's a huge lesson to be learned there, I think, with equipment especially, but most anything that's tool related. Make sure that it's fairly common. Otherwise, good luck getting it serviced.
Welcome home. How'd cat food go?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a long process.
It takes time.
No, it does take time.
Couple hours.
Exactly.
Takes Jesse and I 1 hour together, 2 alone.
Yeah, that's
cat food takes time.
Oh yeah.
I got like 7 pieces of brace stock planed.
Wow, you're getting a system. You're doing
And
good.
I think I texted you that stuff that is milled to dimension and it's rough.
Yeah.
I'm kind of putting it to the side.
Sounds good.
Because I think we might get more.
We have a lot. Like there's a bunch in here.
Or I can leave it rough or plane it till it's smooth, in which case it's going to be like 1/4 inch under dimension.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I got a replacement air chuck because we broke that one, and I'm gonna make a new one that's even longer, which makes me really happy. And then we got to throw this alternator on. Let's see. And this goes on the bottom. Making progress here. Looks pretty good. So I've had this battery on charge all night and looks like it's at 100%. So let's disconnect it and see what we get. Now it sure looks to me like that belt should go over one more groove. No, it's definitely sitting in the groove. All right, should be time to see if she'll fire. All right, looks like we got good charge at the moment, so that's good news. I need to make all these notes in my maintenance log. 6596.9, new alternator. Hopefully that's the end of the Backhoe charging drama. A diode. Electronics for you right there. What would we do without diodes? Nice. That'll work a lot better than the short one I've been using, about this long. This one I can reach across the sawmill and blast that rail without having to do this number. Well, apparently we have a flat tire on the Backhoe again. Ha! So I guess I'll take that off and get it repaired while I'm out getting logs. Nice thing is, backhoes come with a built-in jack stand. However, I continue to forget that there's a bucket of rock in there every time I do that, so now I got a mess to clean up. Come on, Backhoe. We're almost there, buddy. We'll take good care of you when we got this frame up, okay? I need to use the compressor.
Okay.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
We have another flat tire on the Backhoe.
That sucks.
So, I got to get it off there and get it in for repair while I'm working on logs. So,
Yep.
I'm going to use the compressor for a little bit, okay?
Okey-doke.
Holy cow, it's getting deep in here.
I know, right?
Wow,
I planed most of these this morning.
it's growing.
I know.
It's growing.
Just let me move them. These are
Nice.
all pretty perfect.
Good job. Getting a system?
These need to be moved out,
Okay.
which I don't think we can lift.
I would just move them to the end and maybe try
Working on
to...
the braces, because I can
Yep.
lift that, and the
Yep.
posts I don't know that I can move.
One end at a time. You can probably get them over here. Just take your time, right?
Yep.
Be patient. You can get them. Come off there, you big guy. This is the one that we had repaired a while ago, and the repair involved bending the rim right here. I actually bent the wheel when I was moving rock way back in the Grizzly area. I have a hunch that either that happened or we've got some sort of a screw or something in the tire. Well, solved one problem and created another, so now I'm going to be running late for logs. So, got to get to the wheel and tire store, get that tire fixed. Hopefully still making in time to get some logs this afternoon. Okay, I'm off. I got to get that tire fixed.
Okay.
And then I'm off to get logs. Hopefully get those.
Yeah.
Your dad will be back, hopefully by the time I'm back, which means we shouldn't have the power problem anymore.
Yay!
So, yay. Although that generator needs to be put through a break-in, and I don't know what the break-in is. It might be 10 hours or something, which we should be able to do tomorrow. So
Just break and mean just use it.
you have to do certain things like turn it up, turn it down, do this, do that, do this, do that until it's broken in, and then you can use it. Yeah, Paul's good at breaking stuff in, I bet.
Yeah.
So I'm good at breaking stuff, and he can break stuff in.
I feel good. I feel like I'm pretty much doing down to 6 cuts a log.
Wowza. Beast mode. Good. I think you could probably do, you know, 15 pieces a day or something or more.
I also feel that planning in place is not a problem at all.
Really? Okay.
Because right now, how am I going to get things to the end? I'm not.
You're not?
Risking myself, so.
Yep. Cool. I bet it feels good to just spend a little time and get your head around this stuff.
It does.
Cool. I'll leave gas cans here. I grabbed gen gas, so I'll leave those here because you're going to run out of generator fuel here pretty quick.
Yep.
Okay, back soon.
Okay. See all that pitch? It kind of scooped it up. We actually bought this brush to keep the sawmill clean, but the bristles aren't stiff enough. But it works perfect for this.
What's that from?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think the blade's new. It might be, like there's a lot of sap on the bottom, so I'm wondering if that's kind of making it sticky, because we didn't have that the first pass.
Here at the logging landing, looks like they got a pretty good deck of logs going, so we'll have to see what we find. So kind of out of respect for a lot of the people here, I'm not filming too much, but it does look like we're doing really good on logs. We spent some time kind of measuring and just scaling and figuring out what's in the deck, and looking really good. So Alan's done a fantastic job. He's a very kind man, and he's very patient and caring, and he's done a good job getting the logs that we need. So our driver just showed up, but now we're in a mud pit, and so we're struggling to get the truck where we need to go. So we're going to try to get some of these logs loaded, and hopefully we've got enough to get everything for the frame. So if you're wondering what 3 inches of rain will do to a logging landing, this is the answer. Oh man, that wasn't even just a little bit of rain either. What do you think? 27?
I just seeing if he...
Oh, he's getting going? I think he'll get her. You know what that makes me think of? I doubt you've seen the movie, but there's a movie called Cars. It's a Disney movie. And there's a truck in that movie that gets like a tune-up. He's like an old wrecker, and he gets a tune-up, and he's kind of like, woo, you know, he's got this personality. It's probably been a while since Roy's done a wild and crazy dirt mud backing up trick. It's, you know, it might be every day for log truck drivers. I don't know. we're gonna cut him. We won't have anything over 28. So this one log is gonna yield 55 feet of usable log. Wow. And then there's gonna be this little guy left, 27 footer. Hopefully that'll be a rafter soon. And then we've got a tie beam down there, 18-foot tie beam, but we're gonna take the whole butt and everything, just so we can kind of figure out what we wanna do with it. Oh, not really. Looking really good. Can you stand where that tape's at? I think it's pretty good, but I can't tell. I think it turns up too much. It looks like it turns up right here and starts kind of coming up.
Where's it gonna go? Meanwhile, while the girls were planing, my dad went and spent a bunch of money, our money, which is always funner than spending your own money. Yeah. Very nice. I think your task is to set this bad boy up.
We'll do it.
Is it pretty simple?
We'll find out. Hopefully it looks like that in the box.
Yep. Did you get like a wheel kit for it and stuff, or does it?
I think
it comes with them.
With it, yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Hopefully it's all ready to go. Cool.
So I think we have all the carrying beams. I'm pretty sure we've got that. We need one more though, because there's only 4 on the truck after he puts that one on there. That's 4, so we need one more 18 footer, which I think is gonna be that one right there.
No, I think you do.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna take him. What was the big problem with this one? I can't remember. I mean, like my brain's telling me now it looks okay, but I don't know what I was seeing before. Because I'm sitting on 27 right here and it looks like it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was looking at before. But we have enough logs to get me going, but we don't have enough to finish the house. We need 6 more logs. So we're gonna wait and just be patient here, and hopefully we'll get the logs that we want. The camera battery died, so I'm gonna have to shut this down. Hopefully we'll get a battery when we get home. And these logs should be home in about a half an hour. And then depending on what time it is, we might be able to get some sawmilling done this afternoon.
We just got word that logs are arriving any minute, and Jesse isn't here, and he's not going to be here. So I gotta handle this on my own. It's okay, I know where they go. Apparently only like 11 logs are coming, so it's not even a full load. How's generator testing going?
Good. Just reading instructions.
Yeah. It already turned off once. Was that you turning it off?
That was me, yeah.
Okay. Let's all film each other, filming each other. There we go. I have it on here. Cheese. Cheese. This will be filled up shortly. Wow. Can you believe we've filled this up and emptied it twice? No. So insane. Our logs are here. There they are. The goal, Jesse asked for this last time, the big ones we want to put closer to the mill so we can get our big fibers out of the way.
Well, started the day off with a headlamp, and I'm gonna end the day with the headlamp. So, I went to pick up this tire, and they had put a tube in it because the sidewall was checking from the sun. And when I went to put it in the truck, the tube was leaking. And so I ended up having to go back, and they found out that the tire had actually been separating inside. It was losing cords. Probably can't even see right now. So I'm gonna go grab a work light. We got a brand new tire on this side now. Here's hoping the other tire will hold out. It's been an expensive backhoe day, I'm not gonna lie, but honestly, we couldn't even do what we're doing right now without this piece of equipment. So working away.
Yep, training my dad on planing.
Fun.
I thought I can start training new people because it takes more time.
Sure.
But it's possible that I'm gonna be busy. So
Yep.
it could be worth the investment because
Bingo. No pressure.
I'm probably a terrible teacher.
It's hard to teach something that you or yourself are not confident at.
Well, a lot of it comes down to feel.
It does,
And
like
I'm
everything,
teaching
right?
him my anal obsessive ways.
Nice, okay.
So
When we bought these work lights, we were kind of on the fence about whether to buy something that you just plug in or something that's battery powered. And I think it's kind of like the Extend-A-Hoe. You're like, oh, I don't really need an Extend-A-Hoe, I can live without it. And you're like, oh, I really don't need battery powered work lights. But I'm sure once you have them, you'll use them. It's a good looking tire. You want to throw a lug nut on there? They're in that little bin there. Perfect.
2 of our dining in the garage.
Oh, here, look
We
at
have turkey burgers because the chicken was frozen.
it. Yes.
Nice.
Ooh la
Wow, that looks yummy.
la. Ooh la la.
Spinach salad, potato salad.
Jesse salad. Jesse
He's
broke.
hungry.
Jesse spent money all day.
I know, we spent a lot of money. We spent $1,000 on the generator. What else did we spend?
$3,200 on logs, $240 on a tire, $120 on an alternator. What else did I buy this morning?
All cash bro chachos.
Diesel in the truck, generator fuel. Yeah, we're down $5,000 today.
Money showed up in our account yesterday
It's gone.
and poof.
What money? And you didn't pick the deposits on the tents, but if you'd have done that, we'd have been at
Oh, yeah, I need to
$6,500
do
for
that.
the day. Yeah, for
I'll
the
do
day.
that tomorrow.
But if you want to have money, don't build a house. The two things are
Exactly.
not. You cannot have both. You
But
get
in
one or
the
other.
end,
Yes.
we'll be further ahead.
In the words of our logger,
But you have to have the cash to blow today.
Yes, in the words of our logger, this will be around much longer than money. That you're building something that will outlast money.
So on that note,
Anyway, enough about money.
we should dive in.
Awesome.
What's really disgusting is when we're all done building the house, we actually have all the tools too. So we're sitting on $60,000
That we could resell or build another house.
Either build a house, whatever you want to do. We could barter with it. We could help other people with it. Like, we're not just out $100,000. We have $100,000 and
Plus
we still
all the
have all
tools.
the tools.
Expensive tools.
Very expensive tools, like that sawmill or that planer or that backhoe. All of it's very expensive.
I think we should actually end the video. I don't want to film anymore tonight, do you?
You know, I don't know. I have no idea. I might. So.
I think we should end on a dinner time lapse.
If you end it right now, then it ended right now. If it doesn't end right now, she didn't end it right now. So sometimes, Paul, if you're not sure, you can draw a line with the blade. So if you have a physical line, like a pencil line, you can make a very shallow curve and draw a line with the blade, and that will tell you whether you're on or not. If you ever cross your line, you're not on. So if you look at that, I start on the outside of that pencil line, and when I'm done, I'm on the outside of that pencil line. And that's how precise we need to be, really. I mean, we're not talking a 16th here, we're talking like a 64th, like very small.